which and he has like so much talent. If he'd only like try to get out, play more shows and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's sad.
I'm like, dude, it's like, cause I told him like just here in town there's the little coffee shop, and like normally every Thursday night they have where you can come up and play and stuff. And back when we did mostly acoustic rock, we played there a few times. And I'm like, dude, you should come up and play, because honestly people would go nuts and stuff.
Yeah. And the thing
But
is like also we don't have to necessarily like things aren't like how they were in like 2004 where you had to go and just grind a tour for a year.
yeah,
Like, okay, we're gonna play 4 or 5 shows a week, like, and just do that whole thing. Like, you don't even have to nowadays if you're able to have a good song and promote it wisely.
yeah,
Because until you're able to make like, there's a reason why we're gonna tour, you don't really even have to. It's kind of like, I heard this. Like this is. Have you ever listened to the? I know I probably asked, but this is something that you probably really enjoy. The Punk Rock MBA. He has a podcast.
I don't think so. I think you may have told me about it, but
Yeah, and if there's one person I'd say like as far as information about the music industry in general, and who's
Yeah.
very you can take it in. Like there's certain people you can listen to, and it's just like they don't give that personal kind of connection of
yeah,
this is actual person telling you this, like instead of they're reading off of something someone else said.
yeah,
But like he has a podcast and he'll interview people, and they're like, you know, why play in front of, okay, you're gonna play in front of 50 people, have them show up, you know, it's great you're playing a show, but if you can make a meme or a video or something and get 10,000 views,
yeah.
like that's 10,000 people that just saw that.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, a lot of the smaller bands. I'm like, I didn't really think of it until I started them doing like, a lot of them would just make memes like out of like whether it's like about like there's a few like local ones or I saw, and they're like they make memes about like whether like small town bands or whatever, smaller bands and all kinds of stuff, like, and it kind of like it's a funny meme, but also like in its own way helps promote like small bands or helps promote their own music and stuff. And I'm like, I never thought about that, but it's really cool how they are able to incorporate comedy and into the music
Yeah,
and stuff and make it go big.
and in the end, like that piece of content, even if like, I mean, so many musicians are, and I don't have the, I never for some reason like this is something I'm trying to get motivation to do, but I can't for the life of me. It just doesn't. I don't know. But like TikTok, people
Yeah,
coming on TikTok and making some videos, and they, even if 100 people came from there and went to your page and said, "Wow, their music's great," I mean, that's 100 people you just reached.
yeah,
Instead of saying, "Okay, well, let's go spend a bunch of money and let's go take the time to do these shows,"
yeah,
and maybe some of them go check you out and things. But like, if you're able to, even if you did a music video and it was really cool, or did a something that just any piece of content that you have, even the abandoned, like you were talking about the videos, the
yeah,
abandoned places, that's stuff that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of people who wish they could do that. And those videos, they, if you're really good quality, especially around here and everything, if that gets bigger, technically the band part would get bigger too,
yeah,
because
yeah. Because yeah, that's one we were talking about, because we have. We're kind of like going over and doing like he has his own like a vlog that he does. Then we have a we call it Rebel Reality, where it's kind of just like any crap we do, like whether it's like if it's like music stuff I do, the podcast we do, like just crap that we just do on a daily basis. We just throw it into like a YouTube, like a on his channel and stuff. And so anything that like follows you on there, if we get enough or we tell them enough about it, like they can easily spill over into
oh
other
yeah,
things and yeah, help grow that.
like who's it called? This guy who, have you ever heard of the Bright Sun Films?
I don't believe
If you
so.
love abandoned stuff, you're gonna love his channel. He's really grown a lot. So Bright Sun Films, and he was able to, off of his, I mean, he worked at it for years and years, and like he'll cover topics like Universal Studios, like the Nickelodeon lot that's abandoned,
Yeah.
or some ride that might be abandoned. But he was able to make he's coming out with a documentary on Six Flags New Orleans that got abandoned after Katrina, and he was able to do that off of his channel. Now have the ability to spread a documentary,
Wow.
and it's like, okay, even with, he doesn't have 5 million, he's not Jacksepticeye or PewDiePie,
Yeah.
but he's able to from there say, I'm gonna make a film, and like it looks like a legit hour-long documentary, like interviews and people,
That's awesome.
and you can do, even it does not take, and that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, if you have something like that you're really passionate about, like pursue that 100%, and learn YouTube inside out, because like in the end, that 100,000 is still 100,000.
Yeah.
And that goes a ton long way, because if you said, well, I have a band, I have music going on, like that's able to promote. People
Yeah.
find your page, people look and see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't get that. They're stuck in, I have to be a musician. But like that's where even my Instagram stuff, I mean, it's something out of the ordinary from the musicianship.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be 100%. This is the only way we're in it. Like people take the Def Leppard aspect of, okay, we play a show, people see us only there, goes where it might be on a magazine, might be in an interview somewhere, but that's it. Like they live the rockstar lifestyle. Here, there's so many ways you could just branch out.
Yeah. And like a lot of the like Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch, he I know he has like a what is it, like an oil a CBD oil, I think, or whatever,
Okay.
and like beard products, or maybe it's, or I think it's their basis or whatever, but they have like each one like almost has like their own like little like company that they're running. Like Ivan has like a CBD company, and then I think like one of the guys he has like a beard gel company or whatever, something like that. But it's cool how they each like from that they're able to pull like followers from Instagram and stuff like that that know them for their music and put them towards other things.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
It's just in general the content creation.
yeah,
I find I think that's cool that you have. It's because that's similar to what it is probably never happened to this kind of extent with me, because I meet people and they're like, okay, well, we want to be a musician, but they don't want to do that other stuff.
yeah,
Like one of the people I knew didn't want to take pictures. Like he was like, I hate myself in pictures. I'm like, dude, you're gonna be in a band. Like,
Yeah.
this is gonna happen.
yeah, and that's I love like photography. I wish I could, because I love, I guess. I don't want to sound selfish, but I love like being in the band and being like, oh, like people are taking pictures of me in the band and stuff. But I also love being the one taking the pictures too.
Oh, yeah.
So I wish I could like do it at the same time. But it's just fun like having or being able to do that and stuff, which is something both of us like a lot of times we'll take profile pictures for each other and stuff
Okay.
like that, and sometimes we'll do like photography and crap like that. Like a lot of times when we go out and do the videos of the band in places,
Okay.
I'll go and take pictures and stuff, and I post them up on Instagram and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just I love the whole like what you said, like content creator making all the
Yeah.
content and stuff.
Like even
Yeah.
if we said from this, what's interesting, and I thought of this too, is like if you said, okay, well, we'll do the band thing, but you had something, and you were like, yeah, Bobby, why don't we do this project, because this would be cool.
Yeah.
And we both really liked it. Like that's still that's fun too.
Yeah.
I think I guess in a way is like escaping from the corporate kind of world that people are in. You know, we can still.
Yeah.
There is no.
Which car's yours?
You know what? That one right over here. What is it called? It's way back in the creation. Like even there's like look at that building right there. Like that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've climbed that a few times, and actually.
Yeah, we have selfies from the top of that
kidding.
building.
Yeah, we've taken like band pictures on the train tracks and all kinds of crap.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
See, like cool stuff like that people just kind of don't get in a way is
Yeah.
where I've kind of been, and I've tried to, because as much as I love the music thing, as much as it's like, okay, I want to do this, and saving up money for studio stuff, it's like I never wanted to do this in the first place, like be completely alone in it.
Yeah.
Because then every liability falls back on you, and then it's like, well, okay, there's millions and millions of people who are doing what I'm doing, then why would they check out my stuff?
Yeah.
And then like you have ideas, and then I have ideas, and like if it's all on me, then it's just my ideas. But then if you have 5 people
Yeah.
all in one, it's like,
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that's something. Especially after the band broke up, there's a few. I have a friend who's made over like Instagram and stuff with the band. He's up in I think he's out in Tennessee or something like that. But he has like a solo project and stuff. And him and I kind of like talked about like the pros and cons of like solo project versus band and stuff like that. And eventually I came to the conclusion, I'm like, I'll go along the path of like a solo project, but if I can find people that are interested in the same thing, then I'll pick them up and like take them along on the journey. Because honestly, I don't want to do it by myself, but if I have to, I will. It's just one of those things where, yeah, I mean, and it has its pros, like going by yourself, because you get like less, you have to like not as many arguments, because I mean you're by yourself, not many people to argue with or whatever, and it's like whether it's like the lodging or whatever is cheaper and stuff like that. But at the same time, then you have to worry about like sometimes like you'll be like go like, oh, I can't like think of like lyrics or whatever, and so you don't have bandmates to go to and be like, hey, yeah, like lyrics or whatever, like any ideas and stuff. So you just kind of like dead in the water.
Or even monetary. Like
Yeah.
if somebody has, if you're able, okay, say something's $1,000, instead of putting $1,000 into the studio yourself, you can split that 200,
Yeah.
you know, and that helps along with just in general, like if you have 5 people promoting it,
Yeah.
5 people there, and every unless I'm wrong, and I know that some people form bands. Like I know I was listening to Bill Murray, there was a guy from Attack Attack. I think it was their guitar player. I can't think of his name, but he's in his solo projects, Bill Murray, and he does all the music himself. He's in there making the songs, doing the vocals, doing the mixing, mastering, I think, but he was in Attack Attack.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's coming from nowhere to doing this. And I mean, you have Tony and Pilots that are close to it, but in the end, you have Josh and Tyler.
Yeah.
They have Mark, who's doing their photography. They have different people who've helped with the mixing, the mastering. Like all that does take people, even if you were a solo project.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah, I was like, because there's multiple things, like what you said, Bill Murray from Attack Attack, and like and I think it's
It's cool that you know who they are. I like it.
I'm not sure if you know Brian Welch from Korn. I'm not sure if you listen to so much. I don't listen to too much, but I actually found he has a solo project, and actually I like that almost just as much, if not more, than Korn.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh, that's so cool. But like what you said, he was in like Korn, which is like millions of followers. They're a huge band and stuff. But yeah, and just like,
you know, when people start saying like, oh, well, this guy made his solo album, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but where were they the previous 15 years building through that? It's not like they all of a sudden were in their bedroom, okay, I want to make, even like the rappers.
Yeah.
Even the SoundCloud rappers, like if you know, like people are like, okay, well, say if we were in Chicago, we knew Chief Keef personally.
yeah.
It's like, okay, that's different than just starting in Virginia and saying, all right, well, I'm from the ground up.
Yeah, or like Andy.
Emotionless of White, Trivium, Atreyu.
Yeah.
A lot of the bands that are playing the Blue Ridge Fest, or like what the Warped Tour, like that's where if I had the chance in the perfect world, like those are the scenes that I would want to go to, because I mean, EDM's nice and they're fun, but I've never had the heart for it.
Yeah.
Then you have the rap scene and stuff, and it's like, okay, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But then you have all this, and I'm like, okay, well, where my favorite shows are at? The rock kind of Simple Plan.
Yeah.
Like that's where my heart's kind of has lied for forever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, do you know, like, do you personally know anybody, if we said, okay, well, we're game, anybody else who's like, okay, well, I know this great drummer, or you have this vocalist who's like amazing, or this guitar player or something?
I know like a few people, but not like. I know our old vocalist, or he plays guitar, he plays some bass, and then obviously he sings and stuff. So we could talk to him and see if he wants to do something. But and then what is it? I know a few people, but most of them, like there's like my friend that said it's like really good guitar. He's like, I think, let's see, he lives all the way down near Norfolk, Suffolk area, and he's I think he just turned like 24, 25 or whatever.
Okay.
But so I can see if he wants to do something. But I don't know. I guess I have like little people here and there, but most of them either like, I feel like, or sometimes like some wouldn't blend well together and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I could go back and see. And also over Instagram and stuff, I have like a bunch of friends that do stuff. But unfortunately, some problem like some of them they're like out of state and farther away. But
Okay.
yeah, but that's something else. Eventually, I thought about like moving up, either up farther north, like more northern Virginia, like what is it? Like Richmond, Roanoke, up there in that area, or moving out like farther west, like more where there's more music scene, like find more people.
My thing is like, because people have brought this up to me a bunch, where it's like, okay, well, what if even the Fishersville people are like, you should come here because you're closer to a lot of things, and the city's nice, or Roanoke especially, because one of the band I'm in currently is in Roanoke.
Yeah.
And they all know each other, and I'm the one like Lynchburg person where it's like, okay, well, I'm traveling 70 minutes to there, or like Richmond, I know there's people, or I just fly out, so let me go to Los Angeles, I know there's people.
Yeah.
But it's like I'd rather try, because because I was able to find you here.
Yeah.
I was able to find different people in Lynchburg. It's like you can technically do it.
Yeah.
Even if, you know, a cool thing would be if, just to try it, if you set up like a Craigslist thing.
Yeah, actually, I found there's there was because I was looking for a band or whatever, and I found there's a band in Lynchburg that was looking for a bassist. The only problem is they're a bunch of they're all in their 40s or 50s older guys, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll see. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I kind of just slowly backed out. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, the coincidentally band mix people who messaged me the day that I found your profile, they were like 40 years old, and they said, well, you like the same kind of music, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you all are gonna have a different vibe, especially if they're liking AC/DC
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Which, don't get me wrong, like a lot of those bands, they have great roots. It's just that stuff it's not today.
Yeah.
Especially if you're 50 years old and you want to just jam.
Yeah.
They're not gonna understand. Try to get them onto TikTok or try to get them to.
Yeah, and there's a difference in being just want to be a small town band that does covers and stuff like that, but then there's other people like us that want to get bigger than just be a small town band.
Yeah, I want to be able to make our own stuff. That's in the end not just we can play a cover at a concert because people will say even what's it called? They played Mr. Brightside, the band that opened for 21 Pilots, played that. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well it's a cover, everybody knows it. It's yeah, that's cool. But to play your own stuff and have that be the forefront and be able to create content off of we want to be creating not just unless we were somehow got that big we're our last night where it's okay
just covers pretty much
just metal covers of Ariana Grande and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you know a Jordan Lavender out of Lynchburg?
You know what? I don't, but you know what the funny thing is the name sounds very similar.
Yeah, he I guess I know him very little bit. He's really good at guitar. I think he does more heavy metal. I'm not sure exactly what genre. I think he was actually in a band in Lynchburg, a small local band, and played a few shows. He used to be the drummer for a band there, but I guess he likes stuff kind of like Rings of Saturn. I've never really listened to stuff like that, or not stuff never heard that band or never listened to that.
If he can play Rings of Saturn, then he's got to come be a guitar player.
Yeah,
my goodness.
Yeah, I know him a little bit, but yeah, my actually the way I knew is from my ex-girlfriend actually found was taking pictures because she wants to be a band photographer, so she was taking pictures for him and stuff like that because he's doing a solo project and stuff. But so that's kind of how I met him over Instagram and through that.
Very nice. I like the fact that you're meeting people through Instagram.
Yeah.
That's really cool, and that actually it's kind of oh man, this is cool because nobody else is doing that I've really ever known. They'll know them from real life, going to school or going to certain things, and they'll meet people and then they'll connect via Facebook or something. But the fact that you're doing very similar to what I've been doing with stuff, it's wow, I connect in real life. Coincidentally, you're the second person I think I've ever met from the internet.
Yeah.
Because not only people are in Virginia and stuff like that, but I think the other person I met was at an Andy Black show. Yeah. And we just so happened to be the same show in North Carolina. Is really cool. But the fact that you're aware even of social media is a plus amongst anybody here. Because I know Mathematics is behind in the top. If you look around, they're super crowded and populated Main Street. Yeah. There's just gonna be an Apple store right across the street.
Yeah. You said you went to Andy Black show in was it Charlotte, North Carolina, or something like that?
Greensboro.
What's the name of the venue?
It was at
Was it the
Blind Tiger?
Yeah. Was that it? Okay. Yeah. Because actually, at my the vocalist, the vocalist of my band went to that one with my with my ex-girlfriend or whatever. I was supposed to go, but I was unable to. So the two of them went and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I went to there and saw Andy Black, and that was
was Andy Black and I think the Fame and
the one of Fame, and then there was some other band, but I saw the Fame.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I never heard of them before that, and then
I took a picture. I met their guitarist after the Fame and talked to them, and they were actually really nice. We had a conversation because it was weird. Nobody knew them, and nobody especially knew who their guitarists were. Everybody gathered around there. Incredibly, he has such a personality, their vocalist, that he was just able to gather this crowd and be so, what's it called? charisma.
Yeah.
And their guitar player was like, "Hey, how's it going? You like the show?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, how about this? Like, this is cool." And I told him about different music I've been doing. I went to see Palais Royale last year too,
Nice.
and I saw them. And after the show, I go up towards the stage. All of a sudden, Sebastian walks behind. Like I was with my sister. I was taking a picture. She was in front right there. He walks like behind her, and I'm like, "Oh, hi! I did not expect to see you."
That's awesome.
I was like, "Hey, good show." And he's like, "Thanks, man. That's cool." And then we took a picture, and then hung out with Remington and all that. That was kind of
Nice.
fun. But those are the kind of things like when people say like, "I would love if we got ever to that point."
Yeah.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they have like, I'm not trying to like, okay, we have to be Billie Eilish, who's just on everything.
Yeah.
So many like because you're not really going to do that with a band these days, unless like things make a comeback and
Yeah.
it becomes 2006 for the Used or on MTV and like MCR's playing on
Yeah.
New Year's Rockin' Eve but you have. If we were able to say, okay, well, let's play an open form Palais Royale.
Yeah.
Like, just that. And the weird thing is, it's not far away.
Yeah.
Like, there was this little band, and coincidentally, I know the drummer, so I might actually ask him, hey, would you ever be considering, or because he can play pretty well, I think. But I ended up forming a band with their then bass player, who's now in the current band I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's how I even knew who he had played music. But basically, they wrote like a few songs. We're not big at all. They had their fans just when Metro Station was touring.
Yeah.
Now you think of like that's where they were. And Metro Station came to Lynchburg to play at Phase 2, and they were like, what bands should we have open for us? And they had their fans kind of go, from the Wild, they should open. And they ended up opening for Metro Station.
That's cool.
Like, they ended up on the stage of Phase 2.
That's so cool.
And I've noticed these small little bands that, like, they barely have, like... One of the bands that I saw in Lynchburg opening for... Shoot. Or maybe it was, no, one of the bands that opened for Simple Plan. I saw them with We the Kings and State Champs. The band that opened, like, their guitar player had 500 followers.
Wow.
Like, their band was super small, but somehow they're on stage opening for Metro for Simple Plan. They're touring with them. Like, they got to go on that entire tour as the first opener, not like the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, like that's stuff that can happen. And even like I've seen this group from New Jersey, and they play punk, and I really don't know them that well, and like it's just kind of like one of those things people I see on Instagram and stuff. But they're not terribly big. Only about 1,000 followers, but they're playing these shows that are like, wow, you're playing. They were gonna play in like Las Vegas or something before all this COVID stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like that's so cool that you don't have to be the biggest. You just have to be like, hey, well, we're this kind of band, and they'll go, well, I like that.
Yeah.
Come tour with us because Motionless in White needs a opener.
Yeah. You just have to have that motivation to really.
Yeah, and they actually like have to in the end like do it.
Yeah, and that's big like motivator for me. Honestly, just like people are like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, watch me go do that. Like, both of us are kind of have that move where we're like, people are like, no, you're not gonna be able to do this. Like, it's impossible. And we're just like, okay, watch me. Like, one of my friends was like that. I was homeschooled for a while, and when me and our vocalist were trying to start something, it was just him and I wanted to start something. And then one of our friends like came to me one time and was like, hey man, like I wouldn't recommend you do this. Like, don't spend all your money on this. Like you're not gonna be able to do anything. I'm like, watch me. Like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, I don't care. Like that's even just like the one time you said that. That's a huge motivator for me to want to just go do it, because I'm just like, I have that about me where I'm just like, I want to go.
Hey.
Do stuff when people think I can't do it. I want to show them that I can.
And that's so big. Did once this month. Well, that's okay. I'm like, okay, social media is the big thing.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're good on social media because this new group I'm in, like I mentioned that, where they're not really social media necessarily savvy.
Yeah.
Because they don't even know about my Instagram account. But they're like, well, you like to do the social media thing, you're going to run it basically. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a lot for one person, especially since...
I feel that.
Especially, actually, you know what you said, you're running social media, it's hard when, like, there was this one person I was going to do a YouTube channel with. And we started doing film reviews because he loved film. And I
Yeah.
said, this is a no-brainer. You love film, you like talking about it. Let's just start. But he didn't really want to do social media. So he was like, well, how about you just do it? I'm like, okay, if there's something, like the little videos, like stories,
Yeah.
if that bands do, like on their personal stuff, how am I going to do that for somebody else?
Yeah.
And I feel bad if you had to do that for your old band. Like, I feel bad because I'm like, I know that situation so well where it's like, yeah, they see social media as this hard thing when it's like, okay, well, how am I going to take a picture or tweet something you're thinking
Yeah.
when I'm not you in the first place?
Yeah, especially like, like the our vocalist or whatever, his parents were kind of like overbearing a little bit, so he didn't
Yeah.
have Instagram or anything like that, and so it wasn't like, and also our drummer, he wasn't really big. Like he'd get on there sometimes and check stuff, but he didn't post often or anything, and so I wouldn't mind like having them like every once in a while, throw like a selfie on the story of them or whatever,
Mhm.
but a lot of times like since they couldn't do that or they just wouldn't and stuff, so I would have to like when we were at band practice, I'd take pictures ahead of time or whatever and
Mhm.
post them like throughout the week and stuff like that. But yeah, and then eventually we had another guy because he was supposed to eventually be our manager and like manage the whole Instagram
Okay.
and stuff and social media, but we had another person, that our vocalist promised to somebody else, like, oh yeah, because we already told him he's gonna do it, but then our vocalist like, oh, let's get this other kid to do it instead,
Mhm.
and so. Oh yeah, and this other kid, and me and him and I did not get together well at all, so we clashed a lot. He would just upload pictures or whatever without telling me, unedited pictures. I'm big on like editing pictures and like making them look good.
Yeah,
But
especially
he
the photography.
yeah, he just throw them up like, okay, here, hashtags, all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, and like I'd post something if he didn't like it, he'd take it down. I'm like, what the heck? Are you seriously? Yeah, that kind of stuff bothered me.
Stuff like if it's something that affects the group as a whole,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, that's a consulting
Yeah.
thing.
Everybody needs to be in on it.
Exactly, and like I wouldn't mind like a managers of some sorts. I mean,
Yeah.
every band I think I've known has some sort of like, because it is a. I know some people can do it, but I've learned my strengths and weaknesses over time, and it's like, okay, if we were say we're just starting off at two, if we had audio, like drums that were what is it called? Plug-in drums or something like
Yeah.
that. And we made music just to it. And it's like, okay, we're doing this and we're creating the music, we're doing all that, but then we have to worry about everything else. You have to worry about what you says. Like, if there is people that can say, well, I'll take this off your hands and be kind of like the third member of the band, that's a great thing. I don't mind
Yeah.
that. I'm like, definitely, I've learned that there's a lot of people who are completely like, no, I'm superhuman and can do this all myself.
Yeah.
I've definitely learned, like, okay, yeah, if somebody knows something way more than I do,
Yeah.
definitely go towards that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it's not gonna help being like, okay, well, no, you're so great, or I'm so amazing at every single thing that I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let someone who's obviously better take control of that.
Yeah, yeah, because I really enjoy doing like the social media and stuff,
Mhm.
but when it comes down to like practicing, getting like you're practicing every day or whatever,
Yeah.
just doing that, then it really I guess interrupts it if you're constantly like having to like check or whatever, or
Mhm.
like wanting to like message people and whatnot
The
and
business side, like social
Yeah.
media, like if the stuff I do that's just spontaneous, it takes like a few minutes and stuff like that. That's an easy, like, okay, yeah, it's cool. Like even just posting a solo I do or just a thought or something like that. Like that's stuff that takes like, okay, it happens spontaneously. Let me post that, see what it does, or take some time to message people, whatever. But it's the stuff like the business side.
stuff. Yeah.
The hey, we just got a book. These people are gonna pay us this amount. We'd like to do this. Does this work on your schedule? That kind of business side that I've never really even gotten a chance to,
Yeah.
because I've never been gotten that far. Like that's why I was really interested in the fact that you had done shows.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, you know more about the hey, if we wanted a Granny G's restaurant wanted to have a show and they
Yeah.
have 4 people, how do we get on that?
Yeah.
What would be the ways to even schedule that out? Do we just ask? Is there a lineup? Do they try out? Like, how does that even work? Is it good for us? Like, is it a scene that people are going to like the music? Like,
Yeah.
that's stuff that I've never really even been
Yeah.
a part of. So I'm
Yeah.
like, that's really cool.
And like we were talking about before, like doing like photo shoots and stuff like that. People like just like making your image, even if you don't have music constantly
Yeah.
coming out. Because with the band I was with, like we had originals come out, but we never actually like recorded them and released anything. We just like wrote them and played them live and stuff. But still, And like on our Instagram, we just posted pictures of us, like whether it's playing shows or just like photo shoots, and people seem to love that just
Yeah.
because it's our personality, who we are.
And that is more important now than ever. Like
Yeah.
in the end, it's all a personality, and this word it's used so much, but like a brand.
Yeah.
Almost. Like in the end, if we're creating and you have the good image that you like, and you're just an overall good person,
Yeah.
and people see that and they say, wow, they're really cool. Let
Yeah.
me check out their music. And there's not a lot of people, even in really good positions, who I've known who are like, wow, you could do a little bit more if you just post